My name is April Danann. I live near Skibbereen in West Cork, Ireland. I make vinegars primarily, but I'm interested in fermented foods, all fermented foods, and I guess I have a bit of a background in the fermented foods in particular, but certainly nutrition. And it's easy to find my products throughout West Cork, directly from me right now, because I can't seem to make enough of them and to keep up with it, and soon to be in Dublin and places in Dublin. So I put brown paper to hold things in place and a little bit of molasses in the bottom of a jar. There was probably a little bit of water, and I knew it was going to rain in there anyway, so I wasn't worried about the liquid. And a wire around the jar to hang it in a tree in the garden, so it was a bit of a sheltered location from the tree. And I put a few of these jars out there, and I left it open to the elements for 24 hours, knowing that bugs were going to be attracted and crawl in. And it was in the spring of the year, so it was just as things were starting to grow. Within 24 hours there was ants in there were flies in there was bits and pieces of wings and all kinds of stuff. And it had rained overnight and there was a good bit of moisture in there, and I thought, okay, just trust the process. So I went out after 24 hours and I put a muslin cloth over each of these jars, and then I just left it. And every so often I'd go out and I would smell it. And believe it or not, I would open it up and I'd put my finger in there, and it was pretty gross by now, but I would taste it. And nope, nothing yet. So after 30 days, it actually was starting to smell faintly like a vinegar, or not an acetone, but a vinegary smell. So I thought, I'm going to start with this. So it was approximately 30 days. I brought most of them inside and carefully strained them through layers and layers of muslin to get the liquid. Then I just took that liquid and did what I knew to do, which I treated it as if it would be a starter. I just assumed it would start something. So I known about the fact that if you leave apples, like windfall apples, in a wheelbarrow in an orchard, eventually they will turn into vinegar. You'll smell vinegar out of them. So I thought, okay, sugar, apples, chopped up apples, some clean spring water, well water, and this mother kind of, murky liquid I had developed. I put it all into jars and I left it. And within weeks, it was decidedly apple cider vinegar. I've realized over the years of looking at bacteria for the most part as our friends, in that we obviously need them. Most of us don't have enough of them. And so these bacteria and yeast and organisms, we've evolved with them. They've evolved with us. Obviously we wouldn't be sitting here if they were so detrimental to our health that everything was an enemy. So I had to look at that whatever was going to come in nature within reason would be kept in check in some way. And of course vinegar is the ultimate little ecosystem of keeping things in check. And when I teach this, I talk to people, and the only way that I was able to describe it to me was to see a flock of sheep on a hill. And so you've got the sheep and you've got a dog. And the dog's meant to protect the sheep, but also to keep them from, keep them in line, keep them from straying outside their boundaries. And I liken that to the yeast and the bacteria in the SCOBI, that is the vinegar mother, but in any SCOBI. Rebel Foods is part of our lifestyle. So it's the stall itself simply reflects the way we live at home. So it's the foods that I make in my own kitchen, and I just simply make extra of them and bring them to the market, or grow extra of them and bring them to the market. Whether the vinegars sell or not, really, and certainly in the beginning, it wasn't important to me, because I was making this for ourselves. Every product on the stall I'm making for myself.